This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm your guest, Andrew.
And today, Will, what's today?
It's Wild Card Wednesdays.
What do we do on Wildcard Wednesdays? We normally pick a random topic, or maybe at some point it'll be a user-submitted Wildcard Wednesday topic. I don't know, we'll see. We got a subreddit going that's pretty much dead, but...
Yep.
This week, I picked the topic. It's a topic that I find very interesting. It's the idea of a reboot for Back to the Future, and whether or not we think any studio in Hollywood is actually capable of making a good Back to the Future reboot. It's essentially, my idea is a continuation of the original story, starting with the death of Marty McFly, the estate being passed down to his grandchildren, who inevitably find the old DeLorean. Maybe they would end up putting the DeLorean parts into a new car. That way they don't have to keep using the DeLorean, but that's minor details at that point.
It's too classic, though. You have to use DeLorean.
I mean, yeah, preferably.
It's like not using a lightsaber and using something else.
I don't know. Depends how much an auto company pays for, the new car to be sponsored. That's all I'm saying.
But basically, my thought process is they eventually get this car to work. They go back in time to where Doc Brown currently is, because that actor is still alive and functioning well. And the story would unravel from there, but eventually Doc Brown would tell them about their grandpa, who had been mysterious their whole life. And somebody would overhear the story being told, probably try to change the future. So the legacy of the family of the person who overheard it would have changed significantly, similar to, was it number 3, where... what's his nemesis' name? I can never remember his name. Starts with a B.
I'm blanking.
So am I.
I'm blanking too.
Is it Biff?
So disappointed.
Is it Biff?
It's Biff. It's Biff. Yeah,
It's
you're
like
right.
somebody like Biff. Maybe it would just be Biff again. I don't know. But the legacy of the family that overheard would be a rival of them in school or something like that, and they would end up being this rich and powerful family, and they'd go back in time to fix that, and then probably go to the future just for fun, just for nostalgia's sake. Ride on a hoverboard, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But they go to 2077, not 2020 or 2015 or 2012, whatever year it was.
Yeah, it was 2015,
Was it?
2016? Something like that. Well,
2015,
they have
think.
to explain that none of those things actually came to fruition. Like, they explain it.
That's super
they
easy
screwed
to
up.
explain. All you have to say is that whatever Marty McFly did to fix the timeline changed the timeline.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
But that's the thing too. The problem with this is it writes itself way too easily.
Mm-hmm.
So just look at the Cubs. The Cubs win, but they win by the year later, right?
Yeah.
So the kids going back in time mess it up, and then them fixing it, they're like, oh, thank God we fixed it. But, oh, it's a year later. Things like that write the story, but that's why no studio is capable of making it. It's too easy.
It's such an easy money grab, and a lot of nostalgia could go right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's too easy, so they'll try to do other stuff with it and make their creative touch, or... I don't think they're capable of handling time travel well without adding their opinions of things.
So what you're saying is if they try to insert some pandering of social justice into the movie, it'll ruin it.
Let's just put it this way: they couldn't have done that. They would not be able to do the third film today with the whole, out west with the cowboys and Indians without doing some sort of someone was terrible to. Person A was terrible to person B. Now let's bring that to the future and make sure everyone knows. I don't know. There would have been something.
If you keep
they're incapable of doing it organically, is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's not so much that in there. It's just the fact they have to put it in your face, and that's what the movie becomes instead of an organic, actually learning a lesson type thing.
Yeah, instead of just showing it, they have to spell it out.
There was actually a continuation of the story done by Telltale. Did you guys know that?
I did not know this. Oh, yes, I did. It's a video game.
There's a Telltale video game done in the Back to the Future universe. and it is technically a continuation of the game, the franchise, which could throw a wrench in my plan. And I just thought of this just now, but I don't think it does anything way outside of.
But is it canon?
It is. It is.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way Telltale agrees to do these, is if they make it canon to the story. Like, technically, the Borderlands Telltale game is canon to the Borderlands trilogy.
Well, Telltale is gone now, so I don't think they will have much to say.
Did you not watch the Billy Visnossum podcast, Will?
I did not.
Telltale's resurrected.
What?
Yes. So Telltale Games exists again.
Someone buy them?
Somebody bought the.
Okay.
Actually, one of the original creators of Telltale has essentially bought out the entire company's franchises and brought on most of the original staff to remake the company.
That's super exciting. Do they still have the same contract with Netflix and stuff, or no?
I'm not sure on that, but they are making Wolf Among Us 2. They are going to continue. I think they're going to continue the Batman stuff, and the Walking Dead franchise
awesome.
is owned by them now too, which I don't know if they'll do anything with it since it's basically done. But yeah, Billy went into it in big details. I was really surprised what is happening with it. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that it's
Sorry, Billy. If you're watching this, I apologize.
I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, so it's basically coming back as a different company. I just can't remember what the new name. Oh, right here, LCG Entertainment. That's the new name. So one of the top people at Telltale bought out whatever was left of the company and hired a bunch of the old people that were working there, the former employees of Telltale. So good news there.
So the important question is, what was their game with regards to Back to the Future?
Oh, the story. Okay. Back to the Future.
What did Marty end up doing in that?
He went back in time again. He was
okay.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember what. Here it is. This will give us at least a plot summary. It's been so long since I played it. So it's after Doc Brown disappeared. They were foreclosing on Doc's home. He went and that's how he gets the DeLorean. So that actually fits my storyline altogether, because the DeLorean was supposed to
stay in the past, wasn't it?
Right, but the duplicate was found. That actually helps. So there's a duplicate DeLorean time machine in the game that Doc had kept secret from Marty. And essentially, the game ends with Doc and Marty both arriving in 1986 and discover that in the new post-time travel timeline, there's no estate sale because Doc's reconciliation. Really? Okay. So this kind of changes a lot of things. But Marty could, I think the timeline could still work. But or they just say this game isn't canon. One or the other.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all time travel, right? So you can. It doesn't matter. Itself. Anything can change it at any moment.
Yeah, let's look at the X-Men games, the X-Men movies.
That's true.
Or you could even make it happen before this, and this is like the game is the ending because of the timeline.
Man. But then, how does that work with Marty McFly's grandkids finding the DeLorean?
Because they change it where they never find the DeLorean.
Ah, that's true. The other option.
See, it writes itself.
The other option they could do is a prequel to the entire Back to the Future series, with Doc Brown and his time traveling experiences pre-Marty McFly.
Had he done that?
No,
I thought he didn't really achieve.
Hold on. All right, so he obviously had the ability to use the DeLorean, right? So he could have changed his own past. That would be that'd be kind of cool to see Doc Brown going back and saying, "Hey, you idiot, fix these things about your life," and then maybe he never invents the time machine, and that ends the Back to the Future series altogether.
No.
I'm not feeling that one, but. Okay. Like I said,
there's just so many possibilities, though. The only thing you can't do is you can't bring back the original actor for Marty McFly. So you have to find a way to make him go away. I mean, he can do a little bit, but really, he's like so outside of acting at this point. And maybe donate the proceeds of the movie towards is it Lou Gehrig's? Parkinson's.
Hey,
Parkinson's.
I think you're forgetting something here. Look what they did with the last Star Wars movie, and
No.
Princess Leia is just there from now on. Come on.
Nope. Let
they
him.
could have the grandkids go in and like interact with the scenes of the old movies. I realize that's probably been done.
I'm okay with that. Like maybe they would do something and it would cause the scene to happen the way it did.
Yeah. So like they're there the whole time. You just never realized it.
That would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna. You could have so much nostalgia. I'm just saying, as far as a franchise goes, this could be one of the biggest hits of the next 5 years if they do it right. Now the question is there a studio in Hollywood that could even remotely accomplish this, given the current state of cinema? I think not.
Obviously, Disney is really good at reviving franchises.
Ugh.
I would have if you'd asked me after episode 7, I would have said yes. After episode 8,
really?
No.
That was terrible from the beginning.
But it was enough nostalgia they played off of that it worked, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have a creative bone in their body, and they still made it Marvel and Star Wars universe. That's all the humor.
Yeah.
Disney can't write anything since they went down. So basically, if you look at it, they prototyped it with Pirates of the Caribbean. They perfected it into Marvel universe, and now that's their only writing style, is knee slap humor that they like. Don't just say a joke in a serious manner. They say a joke and then be like, "Hey, did you get it? Did you get it?"
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on episode 8. I felt like that was just a weird Marvel introduction to a Star Wars movie. We can go on length about that movie and how much.
I mean, nostalgia saved the first one.
Here's the
only
real
reason
question:
it's
who
not
owns the rights to Back to the Future at this point in time?
Was that Warner Brothers?
Or Universal?
I thought LucasArts owned it at one point in time. Oh no, Universal. So it would be it'd be on the DC. No, DC's not Universal, is it?
Mm-mm. Nope, that's Warner Brothers.
So Universal. The reason, actually, now I've got a lot of confidence that they can do it, because Universal did Jurassic World, and if they wouldn't have done Jurassic World 2, just like Disney, if they wouldn't have done Episode 8, I'd be all on board with a reboot. And of course, they're going to.
I like Jurassic World 2.
I liked it.
Very different.
A lot of people didn't.
I straight up teared up when that Brontosaurus died in the smoke, man. Okay.
No,
I was so sad.
Look, well, I'm with you, but I know tons of people that did not like Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, it was a very weird movie. It was like a cat and mouse movie, and it was weird. But yeah.
This might sound strange, but I feel like HBO could probably do a decent job of something like that still.
Like a miniseries?
More in a TV series version, yeah.
Like do a six-parter on Back to the Future?
Yeah, because they're really good with with a story that's been written. They usually are pretty good to the source material. Mm-hmm. It's when they have to get really creative that you get some weird stuff sometimes.
Like
but
finishing Game of Thrones on their own.
Yeah, I'm still salty, but that's not the topic. Okay.
Right.
No, but like if they have the quality backstory and stuff to work with, and all the content basically writes itself, HBO knows how to print money in a TV series. So they're obviously going to do it right.
Can you imagine if HBO just announced, like, introducing the next Back to the Future miniseries on HBO exclusively? I mean, they'd be like reining in HBO Go subscriptions and HBO Now subscriptions like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, right now they are looking for things too, because they did purchase the rights to His Dark Materials, and I forget who made that Into the Golden Compass movie.
Oh, okay.
So they are in a war path to accumulate new material to make TV series now that they lost Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think they were making 2 new Game of Thrones shows. They have the Watchmen show out now.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. And then the Dark Materials, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, the Dark Materials one is coming out next month. So.
Oh no, I'm more excited about Watchmen. I loved the Watchmen movie, and I was sad that they never did anything with it after that. I was like, come on, this is such a good franchise.
They advertised it during Game of Thrones. I'm surprised you didn't hear it.
I literally just watched Game of Thrones, and every episode I basically went to bed right afterwards. So,
Oh.
anyways, after they did Westworld really well, I think if they got, but you know what? If they're gonna do Back to the Future, let's keep it like kid friendly, unlike every other HBO series ever.
There has to be nudity or some blood in at least 3 episodes, or what? Otherwise, HBO will not show it.
Because if you can, I think that's the biggest problem with content nowadays. You cannot watch these big, like high budget TV shows with your kids. If they could get Back to the Future where you could watch that with your kids, come on. You know how many people would just buy that just because it's the nostalgia? Share it with your kids. I mean, those two things there are enough. That's how Jurassic World got everybody into the theater.
But I think they would. I think they would do that. I mean, you gotta remember, isn't it HBO? Don't they own Sesame Street too? Like, I'm just saying they do have.
They do own Sesame Street.
They own Sesame Street, so they do know how to do family-friendly stuff. I'm just saying,
don't want to see it ruined for that reason. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's it. I mean, if a studio wants to take our idea we just kind of hashed out today on this podcast, by all means, take it.
I mean, I will happily sign on as a consultant if they want to pay me.
Sign the CHRILLCAST as your consultants. And if that's all you guys have, then we'll call it a Wild Card Wednesday.
I think it's a wrap.
I'm good.
As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm your guest, Andrew.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.